Yo, what is up, folks? MTG here with a green-white tokens variant that I'm calling Craterhoof Cage. Obviously, Craterhoof got printed. These versions will actually be fixed in like a week. But hey, Craterhoof got printed in Dragons of Tarkir, which means it's in Standard, which means it's in Pioneer, and Explorer, which will become Pioneer and Arena in a week as well. But we want to cheat this into play. We can also cast it. There's like elves here and like lands and stuff. We could in theory pay 8 mana. But yeah, we want to cheat this into play. We're playing a Collector's Cage deck with kind of a token shell, token producers with Poor Patch Recruit, the Sanguine Evangelist, and then some kind of like other like more niche things like Voice of Resurgence, which is also like a nice disruptive piece that kind of like makes a bunch of tokens and gives you some durability. And the Salvager here, which buffs your tokens but also makes them itself. Kind of pairing that up with like Elspeth to like multiply your tokens. Like, hey, it's pretty good, especially you can kind of like cast this on turn 3 off some elves. Pretty powerful. But yeah, it is a Collector's Cage deck. If you're not familiar, 1 and a white, and then it's got Hideaway 5. So when it enters, look at the top of the cards, exile 1 under it, the next on the bottom. And then you can pay 1 and tap it, put a counter on a creature you control, and when you activate that ability, have 3 or more creatures with different powers cast the exile card, or play the exile card without paying its mana cost. So in theory, you could like play a land in theory. But yeah, this is how we're predominantly going to try and cheat Craterhoof to play. We have some other hits as well. And like I said, Craterhoof we can cast. Amiria's Call is a nice free one because it goes into our mana base. And then hey, oh look, I've got a bunch of angels, and also my creatures get indestructible, which is pretty cool. And then we're also playing a couple of copies of Overlord and the Mistballs. Plays really nicely into the token strategy. We're kind of going with as well. Make it just tokens, make a Craterhoof, use them to kill your opponent. Nice. But then also just another big threat that we can hit off of the cage too. And like sometimes you only get a little bit of value and you get like something, but anything's pretty fine. The card's fine by itself already. And then yeah, like I said, elves to ramp you, which can get you to here or here, and let you hard cast Craterhoof. Poor Patch Recruit's like a nice one, being able to like offer some value early that you play to the board if you don't have one of the elves. Or later on, obviously you get the tokens, you start to move counters around, get the different powers up and running. Is nice to get the 3 you need for Cage. Voice, I mentioned, this is a bit of durability versus like control decks that try to counter your stuff. This is like, hey, you want to counter my stuff, I get tokens, and then if it dies or it gets wrapped away, you get tokens. Evangelist, kind of, again, like I mentioned, insurance, the Battlecry ability does stack up. You can rack up a bunch of damage pretty quickly. And then lastly, the other thing I haven't talked about is Enduring Innocence. As an awesome card advantage engine that just sticks around and keeps drawing you cards, is just super good. Mana base is very straightforward, and then obviously I'll be playing this in some best of 3 ranked. And so we also have a sideboard. Some Artifact Enchantment Hate with 2 copies of Haywire Might alongside 2 copies of Night of Autumn, which is a bit of a flex slot. 2 Ghost Vacuum for some Graveyard Hate. 1 is Surak, which is an interesting one. Again, like counter spells, this is really solid, but also it can't be countered, and then there's like a massive threat. But then whenever a creature you control becomes whenever a creature you control or creature spell you control becomes a target of spell ability and opponent controls, draw a card. So even if they're trying to like counter or something like that, you still have to draw the card, even if the creature's not in play. And obviously if your opponent's got it in play, either something like Mayhem Devil, where you're having to ping damage around, or like any removal spells, it's just drawing you card after card, and it's like a must kill thing for your opponent. 2 Deafening Silence versus some kind of like Phoenix and Prowess type things. 3 copies of Portable Hole versus Aggro, alongside 3 copies of Bezer, another great token maker. But we can kind of lower our card versus Aggro decks and play into the Bezer plan. It's a Bezer plan versus Aggro. Haha. Hilarious. Sorry, my voice is kind of going. If you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. If you know anyone who's interested in the video, please do like, share it around. Helps me out a ton. And let's take this into some ranked matches. First match here with the Craterhoof Cage tokens deck. Here you go. I couldn't decide on a name for a while, and then I was like, cool. Selesnya tokens featuring Craterhoof Cage. Do you get to on the play? You like look at that. That does not have any lands though, so and this looks fine. We don't have a way to reshuffle the Amiria's Call. The Craterhoof also is not doing anything great in our hand, to be honest. I think I will put this on the bottom. Yeah. The one thing to be wary of with a mana base is that, like, if I play Llanowar here off of Beseiji and I draw an Eidolon, I can't then cast the Eidolon. I'm actually going to start with a brush land and pay the life. And maybe we'll get a little punished. We also, like, hey, saving the Beseiji is definitely very valid too. It's another good reason to do that. But, yeah, we'll see what's up. And we actually drew the Eidolon as well, so. And we want to get our card advantage online as fast as possible, given that we mulliganed. We'll just get this into play. Alright, Llanowar Elf with snow-covered forests. Leon. Ooh. Might potentially mono green aggro or some kind of like aggro deck. We can like make the Overlord here, but then we have a bunch of things that can't block. We unfortunately do not really have anything that will waylay the Steel Leaf champion. So I think I'm just gonna go Overlord. It does pay a lot of life here. They could also in theory be on some kind of like more aggro elf build, or a different take on the ramp deck. I'm not gonna attack with the idol. We don't need 2 life that badly, but hey. Okay, henge into, yeah, we can't block here. We can at least block the pack leader. That's on. My plan is just Overlord here. If we're attacking with the we're on 10, we're taking 5, we have to block this. I can give this trample. I think there's like a better line for us to do things with this. We still live. We can't live 2 turns anyway. I need to get one of the Overlords into play. The only other thinking is that if we cast an Overlord, we're still mana away from casting it. I think I am going to go in with these 2. We can block with the Endurance, and then I'm going to... leave this. There's an argument for playing Poor Patrick Recruit first here. I will play this out. Doesn't let us block better, but it's doesn't really let us block better. But hey, means that we have the potential to get something that blocks a Steel Leaf champion if they try and like play a removal spell or something like that. Yeah, we have to commit some stuff to the pack leader here. I'll put the Endurance away because we get to get life off of this. The problem is if they flip this into a 5/3. We're getting 2 back. If they've got pump spells, we're in trouble. They're on 18. We're not killing them soon. One more point. So we're taking 2. 7. Land on 4. We still need to block it though, right? I'll do this. It's tough. They got their mana untapped. We could be in all kinds of trouble. I assume they're gonna like have the untapped to activate this, but they could company here. They could like company some damage. Yeah. They do get the Eidolon back. And yeah, we got a 3. I forgot about the counter. Troll. That is trample 2. Yeah. I'll lead with the elf that we draw. Temple Garden's not gonna cut it. This is like a turn off of coming into play. Yeah, we just can't block the Steel Leaf champion. No way around it. Okay. Game 2. Big creatures. Bauble Hole doesn't do loads of relevant stuff. Actually, it takes the elves away. It takes away the few drops. We kind of maybe just want some like big creatures here. And having some answers for the Great Henge is great. Having answers that only hit the 8/8 Henge, probably not so great. Probably not so worth. I'm like thinking about Syrax, it's just a big creature. And then we can also think about Bez in kind of a similar manner. But we need to work out what we're cutting. We're not talking about going over the top. We like leave the Miracles and the Craterhoofs in, but I might cut some Overlords here. Just to lower our curve a little bit. Again, we kind of need to be playing to the board a little. I don't think Syrax doing like overly much. We have Cage online, we have like salvages. We have ways to get creatures that can block. It's fine. We're also on the play here, which will help a bit. But yeah. Bit of a creature mismatch. Bubble Holes, Elves. Cage Voice. The voices aren't incredible is the only other thing, because they kind of block. They're best versus decks with like removal or counter spells. Kind of they can make bigger creatures. But yeah, and then I might cut. They're adding a change to arena so that you only get if you have 3 of this and one of these, you can just play with 4 of either of them, which is super nice and avoids this mess. Sorry, I'm stalling a little bit. I need to make a decision. Yeah, I'm gonna cut the extra void. It's just not a great card on the matchup. It doesn't like block anything well. In theory, the tokens are good, but you need to like block inefficiently to get the tokens, which is bad. Yeah. We will play again, and we will keep 7. A ticket elf. And, like the Eidolons aren't great here, but actually I think it matters a little bit, and it's just kind of a core engine piece for the deck. Betting on going like Eidolon or going for like a Sandstorm Salvager. Salvager. We're like hold the Night Worm to try and snag it, I think. I'm down for this. When we can Eidolon of Innocence later. In theory. I was also thinking, like, obviously, playing against like Mono Green. I assume they were playing Collector Company, but they've not actually shown it. I don't know if you're playing like 4 Hengeful Company and then whatever else. Yeah. So the hope was, all right. We're like taking some damage here, but we'll go Eidolon, make an elf. Now we hit the portable hole. Oh, box here. We'll see what they follow up with. So if they have a henge, you can remove that. That's nice. I'm not gonna block, so we can make this bigger in our time. Get 12 here. Oh, they're gonna pass with company up? That'd be okay. Well, let's beast is some pretty good stuff. In this situation, we just want to stop this from attacking. We can kind of build up our army a little bit. I'll leave with Llanowar Elf to get our card draw from the Innocence. Okay, we got another elf. Cast this, and then... Oh, Edgeweight. It's any 1/1, isn't it? So we better take it off. I'm a bit stupid. Full token. I'm basically just thinking about if we want to hang on to the Night one, which I'm sure we do. We can spend some time developing because we like drawing towards Craterhoof and stuff later on anyway. Kind of is good for us to be doing a little. So if we block here, let's put the Innocence in front of the Love Strip Beast. You have to keep drawing cards, etc. Okay, then another. Okay, yeah, sure. Beast number 2. Okay, Evangelist is a nice draw. Okay, so this turn 3. We can buff this. Okay. I'll pass it. Like the 5/5s are scary. Risible. This is fine, right? Oh yeah, we even get an item trigger. So down to like block here, take 5. Keep one of these flies around. Okay. Troll. Oh right, yeah, this gives indestructible. Dumbass. Alright, excuse me. Okay, we see Craterhoof. Like drawing towards lands and stuff as well. We can't pay for this and pay for the 7. Okay, so we have a Craterhoof Behemoth next turn. So do you just want to live? We don't necessarily need to buff this. Just gonna cast my cards. As long as we got our elves alive. Got plenty of creatures around. Throw back. We don't have that many attacks actually, do we? $11, $8, wait, 19, 27, 3, 4, 5. Oh gosh. Wait, actually? No, it's more than that, because it'll be 7. Yeah, this is 12, 21, 30. I almost got thrown because the number obviously on the card doesn't count the Craterhoof itself. And previously, if they'd done this, they would have lived. Then you kill them by 1. Alright, well that's game 2. That was lovely, we get through it. Because of the social interaction, I was also talking about base it a little bit. Better helps. You should just bring these in, I think. The portable hole's not super impressive. I'm kind of down to cut the other voice. The salvages were good here, but not always going to be stellar. We have to leave these in. I'm gonna trim on these. Even though, like, especially the opponent on the play, they can just aggro us out before we have to do anything. So, hey, they've also brought in enchantment hate for them, so no worse. This is a very slow hand for us. I'm gonna mulligan. We basically got like, these are awkward. Having the Craterhoof in our hand is not where you want to be. This is a better hand. No great shakes. Yeah, sure. Anything else is pretty good. Okay, it wasn't a turn to either guy. Play the evangelist out. Maybe we'll do some attacking. This also has that can't be blocked clause too. Alright, we need to stop drawing lands. ASAP. ASAP Rocky. We have no way to block here. So this may as well attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're like a little ways off of casting the Samira's Call, which is something that we're kind of like at this point thinking of doing. So we can like a Mirror's Call into a okay 7. We're on 12 here, but this basically has to get counters. Just give us a way to block. And now we're in a position where the bat can maybe trade with the pack leader. Let's see. They got 5 mana. There's only so many cards they can have in hand, right? Oh yeah, they got the card draw off the pack leader too. This card's sick. Is it 5-4? It's a 5-3. It was the counter last time that threw me off. Okay, pretty happy to trade boards there. We don't have the land. We have to have a... Okay. It's a Thron. No real plan to put the bat in front of Thron. We'll hold on to this. It's not the greatest. Jeez. That's a lot of damage. We can we could have indestructible last thing. We basically have to do this. I don't have to. This puts us to 12. This would put us to this puts us to 3, this would put us to 5. Kind of on a line where we have to do this. Just like try and keep our life total somewhere. We actually get to prevent one of the trample damage, but it's kind of like preventing 3. I mean, when it's the line you have, it's the line you have. Alright, so the bat's indestructible. The angels are not. Basically on this kind of right now. That's indestructible, isn't it? But we're on 3. We can't not block with the angel. I mean, you may as well prevent the damage of the bat. Alright. Champion. We need some better cards. Yeah, this is us in the bin, unfortunately. Alright. Tough one. Next match. Alright. We'll have another stab at this. Tough loss there. Like, in some ways you got a lot of blood, in some ways just kind of... This is a kind of rough matchup. We will go, yes, we're on the play. They're on a Yorion deck. It's almost as likely to be some kind of like Esper kind of Pixie style pile as it is to be blue white control nowadays. Hard to tell. The double flip. Oh. Ooh, or like enigmatic incarnation. Interesting. We want to get our other elf down, and I think we want to get voice in play. By more than anything, do not want to get temporary lockdown. So we'll see. Maybe we'll keep the cage. Cage plus Evangelist is a pretty nice like follow up to stuff. Ooh, torch on an elf and not torch on a voice is big. It's maybe a sign. No. I want to play a 3-drop to play around. Yeah, because we can go, if we go like Evangelist now, in theory we can go Curse plus Activate. Curse plus Activate, Cage plus Activate next turn. Depends. I'm trying to think of like if you would kill the elf if you had a T-lockdown ready. That gives them access to a bunch of line binding stuff. Okay, change the rocks. To the voice. That one isn't annoying. Oh gosh. They have chain and the binding. And they're choking on mana. Okay. Alright, well, given the amount of removal they use and they're playing Chains to the Rocks, they probably don't have Temporary Lockdown in their list. So we won't play around that anymore. We do have to worry about normal wraths, but both the Voice Resurgence and the Evangelist make tokens when they die. And again, we're set up in a position where, hey, if we draw the land, we can go Cage plus activate on one of these to make it a 3 power and give us the 3 powers we need. Stop, please, please. Okay. Again, I don't just want to play the Cage out. Sure. They're also stuck on lands. But I don't know. Given, okay, the torches make it less like they're playing like a Niv pile. Yeah, it's more likely to be an Enigmatic Incarnation. Fair. So they go and get a 7 here. I'm just trying to think what that'll be. The Trax is good, but actually, all right. Wish us luck, team. Wish us luck. So 916 better. We'll see. See if we hit like. Ooh, the land's kind of good. Alright, I'm gonna play one of these. Obviously, we want to hit Craterhoof. That's the game plan. Take the Evangel. Okay, in that case, we want to go land, play second Cage, and then maybe we activate the Elvish Mystic here. Alright, so then Elvish Mystic can activate this one. I'll put the token on the bat. Shazam! We did the thing through a bunch of pieces of removal and an Atraxa. They're just, so what are they showing? Okay, the River Region I've seen in some control decks. This is pretty sick. When you play it, you get to just bounce 2 things, which is super nice. Obviously, just like sits around as a decent draw spell otherwise. And then we have Torches. Reverse is like pretty decent. Okay. And obviously they're playing an enigmatic deck. So we want the Knights and the Haywire Mites. Portable Hull takes care of. We don't want to bring in Portable Hull. I'm not gonna think about it. I'm not super worried about Bezer. So like rats and things probably do matter quite a bit. Like 64 cards. Again, I'm like thinking about wrathing, like taking away like Overlord of the Mistballs. I think what other like big 7s I can like to Europe that are gonna nuke us. I think I'm more worried about like red sweepers maybe. So what do we want to cut? We show the cages, which is like tricky because we like, oh yeah, enhancements. I think the overlords kind of need to disappear again. It's a very good game 1 card, but often like game 2 they're gonna like either have some artifact enchantment removal, or like the 2 tokens for 4 mana is just not really worth on the face of it, and we kind of need to have more pressure than like this slowly ticking down. I like the 3s a lot. Yeah. The recruits. I'm basically thinking about cutting this out, just because it's gonna be really hard for us to go wide, or like super wide. I think cutting these is better than cutting. Sorry, what is better than cutting the Evangelists and the Enduring Instances we just kind of need to have in here, so we might have to grind through some stuff. The problem is that we can like they're gonna board in more removal, and we're gonna have to play through like the early removal control side of the deck. But then if they like hit Enigmatic, we can just kind of get not Splinter Twin. Obviously we got our combo last time, but yeah, they're like, alright, cool, we had Enigmatic to play, and now we get to turn the game around that way. This is very, very slow. but has like a reasonable curve. Like, it would be nice if this was a land or elf, but I'm gonna keep it. Ask and you shall receive. Great. We'll see, we'll see. So this doesn't play around like a sweeper-based rat, so I'm gonna play the Evangelist out here. Just so we get something back. I want to hold the Haywire Might. Also want to make sure we're getting max value with the Poor Patrick Root this game. But, yeah. Okay, so they have a Vanish. That's fine. Alright. Do we get, like, Anger of the Gods? Are they gonna be playing Anger over, like, Brotherhood's End? Probably not, right? I want to keep our elf alive. Obviously, be able to like play an Elspeth potentially next turn. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go double voice. Use the mana efficiently. This is the gets punished by Anger of the Gods plan. It's also potential, as I would say, it's also potentially boarded out T lockdowns. We do have the Haywire Might for this. Okay. Alright, I'll go Elf, Haywire Might, and then leave up green. We can do this end of their turn. Okay. I was like, they're the way to like 5. Sure. I say sure. Fable not good for us, but alright, we'll do this. Doesn't kill that. We can red them with the voices. I'm gonna trade one of them. Alright. Elspeth tick up. They could have a Vanishing Verse for this, but that'd be tough. They do have one. We're gonna get 2 6/6s, so I hope they have a Wrath, I guess. Yeah, the downside of casting the Vanishing Verse then is high because we get double the tokens because the Elspeth's in play. But they wanted to deny us 1 soldier. If they have the Wrath, then it's totally reasonable. Ooh. Oval was not necessarily the one. Alright, we're kind of priced into... Let's just try and kill with these tokens. I think we're just going to go all attack. If you give me a pile of voice tokens, it'd be rude not to. Alright, we get a win there. Nice one. Alright, one more match for the road. You know it's going to be on play this time. We have like a reasonable card with a recruit into voice and stuff. Is Yorion again? I did not check out last opponent's username. No, not the same opponent. Okay, that'd have been a mighty coincidence. Okay, we have like a solid curve with a cage. But do you appear to be playing... This could be like Niv... So the last game was... Rude. I was saying something, I'm sure. Yeah. Last game we played against Enigmatic Incarnation. This looks pretty much the same, but could be like the Niv Mizzet kind of like 5-color Brinkslight deck. I mean, do you see an up the Beanstalk? So that does seem... I mean, it's not actually super telling. There's a few different decks like this, for better or worse. 3 mana. It's like very tempting to go Lana Ralph here, but the line with the most upside for us is to go Evangelist. Then we can try and do a little combo. Yeah, like making the Iron Innocence would be good too. And if we think if they've tapped out for the Beanstalk and a tap land, that's like, okay. Maybe they're gonna spend a turn going. Okay, over the Overlord's totally reasonable. Okay, it's just like a deck. Let's look at the signs. See what we got. Okay, we got an Evangel, that's kind of okay. Sure. We actually don't have all the powers once this is synced. Kind of funny. So these are trading, we get the voice set around. Because this buffs this. It would have been 1, 2, 3. Anyway. Sure. I could have just done this beforehand. That would have been the quote unquote correct thing to do. I was busy thinking about a combat trick. Okay, so they have like, oh yeah, like Azure Overlords and stuff. Bad. Bad but not lights out. This doesn't have trample. We kind of have to block it though. Taking 7, we just die to the flyers. It's really good. So this way around, or do we go Poor Patch Recruit? Drawing cards is pretty good, huh? Getting line often plays nicely. It's not a great way to do that. Alright, sure. Yeah. Our best top decks are basically just Cage to try and flip Craterhoof. We're not quite dead this turn yet. Question mark, question mark, question mark. But getting worse by a second. So we're taking 4 to 10. We've got these plus this. Doing this. We make the voice block. We could put 7 power things in front of it. But we just died to the flyers still. We need our creatures online. Just worse than blocking with the Vanguard. Okay. We would like to draw a cage. It's not a cage. We still can draw a cage. Guess I'm gonna go green Lana Ralph. Five. We have this, we have 1 flying blocker. Just try and maximize the odds. Okay, we have untapped land. I'll attack with this. As I say, if you can activate 0, it makes sense. Zay. Alright, what we got? An angle. And a bit of a how well do you know the deck? They have to blink everything. That just depends what they blink a little bit. I think the Overlord token enters tapped. T5. The math is crazy. And we can't block the flyers anyway. Make them do the maths. We're gonna gain 10, which is good. There's how many flyers they have to sack off. Alright, that's one. Oh, they gain life off of these. Land on 2. There. I was like, this looks the best way, but yeah, no. Alright. Alright. It was... I mean, they could have put a bunch more stuff in the other block. Alright. AY mites. Yes. Night of Autumns. Yes. Holes. I don't think it's worth messing with. Kind of same with Beza. Maybe it is. We're always gonna be ahead on board. We should always be ahead on life total. It's a tricky one. That's so good. So good. This could come in. Still kind of on this plan. I sort of hate the Overlords. That's a bit just me, but also. Need these. Wait, what was that card? There's 1T, 1T, and the Shrag. The Shrag's fine. They kind of can flank a bunch of our stuff. It not being two, it being like one body over twos. But everything else is kind of awkward. Alright, well, we get to the play. Let's see how this goes. Try and claw this one back and then we'll work out sideboarding again. Come on. And we kind of have to keep it. I mean, like, it's a slow hand in theory. It's not the worst of the worst. Let me just call Wonder here. I threw a bit last game with the Sanguine Evangelist play that I made. Let's not do that again, huh? Just not get fancy with it. They have no idea what's under here. That's crazy. Okay. Sure. Fine. We just don't play any creatures the first couple of turns. They're shaking their boots. I don't want to keep a one-lander. It's better than a no-lander. I guess. I guess this is where we're living. What even? Oh, that's a sad way. Alright. I mean, hey. You don't need to necessarily cast ups out here. The voice. Avatar Overlord. Okay. Playing this is. They've only got one white source in play. I'm kind of finding it this way around. Alright. Like, hideaway is hidden, surely. It says hide on it. Hide's in the name. Okay, interesting. Oh, do they announce the voice as well? Oh, they're gonna verse the, That's a sad one. Multi 5 slowly being stripped apart. Sorry, team. Okay. They're close to having Overlord of the, Woods. It's something Woods. What is it? Haunt Woods. This is draw some cards, discard cards? Yeah. Alright. They're gonna have 2 Overlords this turn. And 6 mana spent. It's not looking good. It's not looking good, bruv. Not looking. Discarding the nowhere to run is like, okay, yeah, sure. Oh, they had another one anyway. They had the bonus. No, because then it gives me a 3/3 and I don't get to draw the cards. And the automatic. Yeah. Not a temporary lockdown. The cool thing is that we still have a shot to win. Down for that. Come on. Okay, so they have Urient. Oh, they have another Overlord. Oh, they're impending this one? Are they wanting them? Me forgetting they have Enigmatic Incarnation to play already. Alright. Yeah. Yeah, fair. Still a chance. I'm just getting beat down by flyers here. Alright, so what do we grab? They get a 6. Oh yeah, this one does damage to things. That Overlord just kills stuff. Yeah. Like, not exactly dead on board. I say. Big wheels keep on talking, they say, right? What's this targeting? The poor patch of Crete. We'll do this, I guess. not bad. So many cards in hand. Yeah, the multi 5 did not help us. I don't think the 7 card hand was any good. So I also validated on that. But yeah, that one. No, they have nowhere to run sleep. We don't get to trade out the blue guy. Mr. Blue did it right. But so comes Mr. Night, taking over orders. Yeah, that's not gonna cut it. Alright, GG's. Alright, 1-2, here with the post-game wrap-up. The first and last games were like kind of winnable, had some like rough draws and stuff. Obviously the multi-fight at the end was really painful. I think the deck is really cool. There's a few other ways you can cheat creative into play. You can like change the build up to play more mana creatures to actually be able to cast a bit better, or like build more towards like devotion to do stuff with this. Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, I was like going through the spoilers for like Tarkir. I was like, oh yeah, there's Craterhoof for him off. I kind of like forgot that it was legal in standard for a bit, despite playing some like actual elves in standard. And then I was like, wait, yeah, it's legal in Pioneer. And then I was looking at lists and was like, this looks. I saw something like this with Cage and Craterhoof. I was like, oh, this looks really sweet. And then you get to play like the tokens deck. You get to play Elspeth, which you get to sort a little bit. I mean, Elspeth did win us a game. Opponent tried to remove it, and it made a bunch of voice tokens, which was pretty sick. But yeah. Deck is super sweet. A lot of the synergies are just like really cool interactions. Eidolon is still like an absolute house. Obviously, when you get to Craterhoof, it's great. When you don't, it's not. I don't know if I'm like underrating Overlord. I think it's totally fine. You can play more of these and like cut some of the numbers down here. I also think playing like you could try like a collector company version of this deck where you like cut Elspeth and have just like the Craterhoofs, the Emerius Calls, and some of the lands. Like try and play like 8 to 10 good hits, and then just play with like company and just like good value green white creatures. I think that's probably totally reasonable as well, and cool way to do it. You probably actually, if you play like 4 cage 4 company, you probably can't play more than 8 creatures. You need like ideally you have like 26 creatures in your collector company deck. Anything other than that, you're gonna have some like, oops, I hit 1 Elvish Mystic draws. But hey, anyway, deck's super sweet. Hope you enjoyed it. It's like pretty happy with the sideboarding. Some of my choices I'm not totally sure with. Definitely like felt like I could have been brought Bez in a couple of the other matchups if I thought about it a bit more, but it's kind of tough. Like he was drawing cards and being like a big body is like pretty solid. But yeah. Well, hey, yeah. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please do like, subscribe, share it around. Would really appreciate that. And again, it helps me and the channel out a bunch. We have actual proper Pioneer being released as Pioneer. Explorer is getting replaced next week. And that's also bringing 11 new cards, some of which I'm pretty excited to play with. So hopefully some exciting stuff coming your way. And then obviously we've got Final Fantasy at the end of the month. And the cool thing about Arena is that we don't have to worry about card availability. So even though everything's getting super allocated and stores are getting like 6 boxes and whatnot, of each of the different packs, then we don't have to worry about that on Arena. So hey, and kind of on that note, if you're still here at the end of this video, let me know if you want to watch like Final Fantasy Limited. I don't normally post this content on the channel. I have done in the past, a little bit, but hey, it's just one of those things like, oh, it's a cool special set. Hey, I'll see what's up. I'm not like a massive Final Fantasy person. I played like some FF14 and I've loosely touched on the other games. I'm familiar with some of the story and things, but yeah, should be cool. Anyway, thanks for watching. Again, peace, have a great day, and take care.